Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today we are going to be talking about, I think, one of the craziest things I've ever seen on the internet, and the fact that it has continued to keep going is the craziest part. So we're going to be talking about what another YouTuber has coined the most narcissistic person on the internet. And so this is the video that we're going to be talking about. It's a TikTok, but the YouTuber that kind of brought this to my attention is actually AugustTheDuck, who makes commentary videos as well. And he made this video that's titled "The Most Narcissistic TikToker on the Planet." Now, in this original video, I'll try and add some clips as well. August is talking about this video that she made. And so she basically talks about how being conventionally attractive or being pretty is really, really hard, and it's something that's really difficult to deal with.
All the ugly people in my last video clearly did not get the message. What is this? What is this? So I'm going to tell you, for all the ugly people who will never experience it, what it's like to be attractive. But there are a couple things I want to go over first that were misconceived. So first off, I make a video about how attractive people literally get crapped on all the time by people trying to humble them. And what are my comments full of? You're mid, you're mid, you're mid.
Alright, so I'm not going to comment on a stranger's appearance because I'm not weird, but I feel like this interaction really sets the tone for the video, saying that a person commenting on your appearance in a way that you don't like can only be them trying to go out of their way and humble you. I mean, you're going to go on to say that attractiveness is subjective, but I guess not for you, because that's what it sounds like you're saying here.
Now, that in and of itself, like, the thing that's frustrating is that conversation could be deeper, you know, talking about what someone that is conventionally attractive might be dealing with that other people aren't, or they might perceive that they're dealing with that other people aren't. I'm not necessarily saying I agree with that, but there could be a genuine conversation to be had there, just like with anything that people are going through that someone else isn't dealing with, there's a conversation there. But a lot of the points that are made in these videos by Bethany is her name are just insane, in my opinion. And one of the craziest things that August brought up quite a bit is she basically says that if you are conventionally attractive, you deal with SA, and almost insinuating that if you're not conventionally attractive, and then she really gets pretty like fatphobic and says, like, if you're 400 pounds and stuff, if you're not conventionally attractive, you don't deal with that stuff. And I think that a lot of people that have had lived experience that maybe wouldn't consider themselves conventionally attractive can also say that they've dealt with SA, as well as a lot of the other things that Bethany mentions. So August made this original video, and then he also ended up making a response because she responded to him. It's a whole thing. The videos will be linked in the description.
So this little guy, or big guy, 1.4, I mean, I guess that's the grand scheme of it, who does not actually look like that, which I actually find quite ironic that that's his latest video. I mean, he has this sense of, I'm doing the world a justice by letting people know how awful everyone is.
Well guys, we were about due for one. Every few months, somebody I make a video on decides to make a response video to me, and since I am forever doomed to have to be right about everything I say, I must respond to them.
Now, I want to talk about this video. The reason being is she brings up a lot of what I think is, maybe problematic language, and it just gets very, I hate the term like fatphobic, but it gets like, she brings up weight in a way that I just feel is unnecessary and, in my opinion, pretty damaging, to where it's almost like saying if someone is overweight, it is impossible for them to be attractive. And so I don't know. It's interesting. So let's just go ahead and play the video.
For everyone giving me hate over that video in the part where I say attractive people shouldn't be friends with ugly people, you do understand what I was saying, right? If not,
no, I think that's what people are struggling with that. So if you want to explain, that'd be great.
Let me clarify. I was not saying attractive people can't be friends with ugly people because of a physical thing, like, oh, they're fat. No, it's usually the mindset associated with that person, because
this is it gets so crazy. I'm just be ready. Just be ready.
I've met, as a general broad speaking, beauty usually radiates from the inside out.
No, not all the time. Like, that's just not true. Now, I think one thing that is important, I think, to bring up is that this young woman is very young, right? I think she was 18. She might be 19 now. I don't know, but she is very young, and so it seems that her worldview is very small, right? Which is pretty normal when you're pretty young, and so it's clear, at least I hope, that this person is going to grow and maybe realize that these videos aren't it, right? Aren't the thing that they want to stand behind as they get older, because it feels very juvenile the way that they explain things.
It's a mindset thing. You take someone who is wearing dirty ass clothes, who is 400 pounds, hasn't showered, smells like crap, goes to work, just comes.
It's so interesting because all of those things, right, are things that someone can still be quote unquote attractive and have dirty clothes. They can still be quote unquote attractive and stink. I mean, I've met some of those people, right? The only thing that maybe would be like a lot of people might agree with is that a lot of people aren't interested in someone that's significantly overweight, right? So 400 pounds. But it's just interesting that a lot of the things are these things that like someone that is quote unquote conventionally attractive could be not washing their clothes. They could be not bathing enough, right? And I would say these are common things that have literally nothing to do with how attractive someone is or isn't. I don't know. It's just so strange.
Comes home and eats more, is lonely, sad, doesn't do anything with their life. When you're around that person, it's going to be miserable because they're miserable and they want everyone to know. They are usually so negative.
It almost seems like she's like describing like maybe depression or something like a genuine, physical or mental illness, right? And it's kind of sad to hear this because it's almost like she feels that someone that would be conventionally attractive cannot struggle with those things. Again, it seems just like a very juvenile way to look at things, because I can guarantee you that there are plenty of people that would be quote unquote conventionally attractive that do struggle with depression, that do struggle with maybe wanting to get out of bed in the morning, that do struggle with maybe even taking a shower, right? And that's completely fine. And I would wonder, like, would she then say, like, someone that is clearly conventionally attractive, right, that everyone would agree, or at most people would agree, but if she found out that they struggle with depression and maybe they're not the nicest person to be around and they kind of smell, would she all of a sudden be like, well, they're not attractive, right? It just seems like, I don't know if the term straw man is right, but it seems like she's decided like she's made this perfect person and this is what everyone is like, when in reality, it's just not true, right? I think most people that have some life experience would be like, yeah, that's clearly just, you're picking this one specific person and making this whole argument about them.
They are a victim in everything in life. They're self-deprecating. They think it's super funny to point out everyone else's flaws because they know everyone else is doing better than them, and they hate that. If they see someone successful, they make reasons why that person got to that point of success rather than themselves getting to that point of success.
Who are you talking about? This feels very personal. Like, it feels like you are talking about a specific person. I don't know who this person is, but if someone did this to you, yes, that is wrong, and it's wrong to do. But there are people that are like this that are conventionally attractive, not conventionally attractive. Like, there are just people that are like that. That's just something that everyone deals with. It's just so strange.
And it usually ends up being the other person's fault. Their work ethic is actually garbage. They will complain the entire time. They never want to go anywhere, do anything. They don't want to change the way they live. They are content just sitting in front of a TV all day.
Again, this has literally nothing to do with how someone looks. Like, almost none of this has been about how somebody looks at all, Like, this is interesting because I can understand that maybe if you are someone that is highly motivated, you're not going to be quote unquote attracted. And maybe that's the way that she's using this term, but it really does not seem like that. It really seems like she's using the term as far as like physical looks, how someone looks. But I can understand if you are someone that's highly motivated, right? You like to go to the gym, you like to work out, you like to do all of these things, like to stay on top of stuff. You would probably not be attracted to someone that is not that thing. But that doesn't make them physically attractive, right? That just makes them attractive to you because those are the things that you are attracted to. It's just so strange that these things that have nothing to do with someone's looks are also being attributed to their looks. It just makes no sense.
Even though they're not actually. The reason why attractive people are usually attractive is because they take care of themselves. because they prioritize eating healthy, going for walks, working out, having fun, being positive.
Okay, so most of those things would be attributed maybe to people that are quote unquote physically fit. But there are plenty of people that do all of those things that you brought up, right? Let's see. Let's re-listen.
Working out, having for walks, working out, having fun, being.
So there are plenty of people that you would probably consider not attractive because they're kind of overweight that do all of those things. They work out, they eat relatively healthy, they go on walks. Like it's just so strange. So strange.
Positive. They have a positive mindset. As a rule of thumb, the attractive people I've met have been incredible freaking people. They have.
I know that she says that she is attractive, right? So that's why she's making this post. But this post, in my opinion, is proof that not all quote unquote physically or conventionally attractive people are super nice, because this is not nice. This is not freaking nice. Like you said, this is freaking mean, man. Like how do you not see the irony there? And like, I know the argument that she would probably make is that there are a lot of people that are leaving mean comments and all of that stuff. And that's fair. Like, it's not cool to leave mean comments about stuff, but regardless, if you are a nice person, why would, like, you're not going to say this kind of stuff. Like, I don't understand how you don't see that, right?
Have goals. They're problem solvers. They don't enjoy being around negative people. They're very nice and compassionate, but they also don't take shit from anyone, and they have huge boundaries.
I don't even know what to say. I don't.
They will give you advice on how to become more successful. Why?
Okay. I think the way that she would, the mental gymnastics that would go on in her head, I think, would be that the reason this isn't mean is because she's trying to give advice on how people can be better, right? And so that's like kind of like the mental gymnastics of why this isn't mean. If that's how you feel.
Why? Because they're not terrified of you succeeding. They want you to succeed. They want to see other people doing great too, because they understand there is enough light in the world for everyone. And someone doing good does not take away from their success, does not take away from their beauty, does not take away from their value. Okay. They don't point out your flaws all the time. They point out all the things that they love about you. And if you do have something that's kind of shitty.
Okay, I want to make it clear that this whole thing is saying that this is stuff that attractive people do. And so unattractive people, I guess, don't do these things. They're all just miserable. Again, it's like it's just a very juvenile way of thinking. It's like a very high school way of thinking, right? Like, the people that aren't like me are all bad, and the people that are like me are all good. And that's just not how it works. That's not real life.
They are talking about it in a constructive manner rather than being a douche. They have passions. They go for...
Yeah, you're definitely not a douche at all, for sure.
Adventures. It's so much better. It's so much better. They're the type of person to be like, yeah, I'll go to the gym with you, but I'm not going to drag your ass there because I have to wake myself up to go every day. So if you don't want to go, fine. Of course, there are exceptions, but I've noticed a lot of ugly people are just kind of potatoes who just crap on all the French fries for doing the work to become French fries, and then make it the French fries problems when they're the potato.
Okay, well, that's the video. I thought this was interesting because I have been someone that, I have dealt with both sides of the spectrum without me trying to sound like a douche, I guess, because I guess that's me calling myself conventionally attractive. But, there was a time in high school when I was 400 pounds at my heaviest weight, and now I'm not that anymore. And I'm assuming she would consider, I'm not saying that she would consider me attractive. I don't really care. I'm 31 years old and she's an 18-year-old child, so I don't want to even get into that because that's weird. But, when I was in high school, it's interesting because in her mind, it's like, so what does happen if someone starts to lose the weight? There's a whole personality shift? Because like, there are certain things that have changed about me for sure, but like the core of who I am as a person isn't any different, right? Like, for me, the biggest thing that changed was belief in myself, I would say. And that it's not like when I was heavier, I would intentionally try and like tear people down or try and be rude or anything like that. I think personally, like if I'm being completely honest, when I was heavier, I tried so much harder to get people to like me, to be fun and make people laugh and have people enjoy being around me, because that, like, I had this fear that people wouldn't, right? Because I guess maybe subconsciously I had felt like people felt the way that she does, right? And now I just don't really care as much, and so I don't try as much, and maybe people would say I'm less fun to be around now. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. This whole thing is very, very interesting. I'm curious what y'all think in the comment section down below. Let me know. I don't know. Are attractive people, is their life harder? Let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.